What can we do? That's a question which many Catholics keep asking. That is, due to what is happening in the Church and the world, what can we do to peacefully resolve those deep concerns? At Fatima, Our Lady gave us the only cure for the evils of these times when she said, "God wishes to establish throughout the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart." Are we willing to carry out the will of the Most High God? If so, why not turn Our Lady's words into our personal motto? In fact, to remind ourselves of how important is this devotion, why not also add to it the Latin expression Deus Vult, which means God wills it? We are now in a great spiritual battle, and in fact we've been in one for a long time. But more and more people are now beginning to recognize that. Yes, we can be involved in our parishes and in our neighborhoods, but we alone cannot fully cure all of the terrible ills of our time. As Saint Maximilian Kolbe taught, quote, "The Immaculate alone has from God the promise of victory over Satan. She seeks souls that will consecrate themselves entirely to her, that will become in her hands forceful instruments for the defeat of Satan and the spread of God's kingdom." Unquote. To help us cultivate a deeper devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, I will in this episode quote from an old Catholic treasure because it teaches and inspires us to cultivate a true and deeper devotion to this same Immaculate Heart. It is in fact a 19th century book entitled Miniature Life of Mary, Virgin and Mother, compiled by Henry Sebastian Bowden, who was a priest of the oratory of St. Philip Neri in Brompton, London. This treasured work was published in 1880 with the imprimatur of the Cardinal Archbishop of West London. In the preface of his book, Father stated in part, quote, "The Miniature Life of Mary is divided into 31 days or sections and is intended to supply spiritual reading on the mysteries of our Blessed Lady for use throughout the year as well as on her feasts and during the months of Mary. It will also suggest thoughts for meditation on the Rosary and the Seven Dolors, and in many other devotions. The contents have been compiled and abbreviated from a variety of sources." The difficulty is of treating worthily a theme so exalted and with so wide a range as the life of Mary. The task, however, has been undertaken with some confidence, from the conviction that any words in Our Lady's praise will meet with a response in Catholic hearts and be welcomed for the sake of her whom to think upon is perfect understanding. Unquote. The author then gives us 11 suggested means to obtain a true devotion to Our Lady, followed by 31 pious practices from which we may choose to carry out any number of them or all of them. Of all of Father's ideas that I will share, I do wish to point out that there are two that we might wish to consistently practice. The first is the daily practice of praying the Holy Rosary. The reason I say that is because at Fatima, the Virgin Mary directed us in such a loving, motherly way to pray the Rosary every day. The second is a monthly active devotion known as the 5 First Saturdays of Reparation. Our Lady also asks this of us, since the sins which grieve the Immaculate Heart of Mary most certainly offend her Divine Son. If you need more information, please see the description box below this podcast for the link to the Genesis 315 playlist, and then scroll for Episode 05, Fatima and the 5 First Saturdays, Why and How. To return to the book from which I am sharing, first I will list Father's 11 points. We can choose any number of them, striving to make those choices into holy habits. They are as follows. Number 1. To make mental prayer on the mysteries of the Virgin's life in her relationship to us. 2. To read books written in her praise and to spread them among others, or to distribute her images or her beads, meaning the Rosary. Number 3. To daily pray the little office of the Virgin, or the Rosary, or any chaplets in her honor. And at this point I will again remind my listeners that we should first choose the Rosary. We can always add other prayers during the day or the evening. To repeat, it is because at Fatima, the Mother of God asked us to pray the daily Rosary, so the Rosary should be our first goal. Number 4. to invoke her daily at the Angelus and by frequent short prayers, but especially by the Hail Mary. Number 5, to wear one or more of her scapulars, or an image or a medal of her. Number 6, to visit her altar and to pay special reverence to her images. Number 7, to offer Mass or Communion in her honor, or give alms for a Mass to be said for the same purpose. Number 8, to keep with great devotion her principal feasts, their novenas, and octaves. Number 9, to gain indulgences for the soul in purgatory most devoted to her in their lives. Number 10, to practice some mortification in her honor, especially on Saturday. Number 11, above all, to imitate her virtues, without which true devotion to her is impossible. Next, we will learn of the 31 practices from which we can choose to further the growth of our interior lives, which is the life of the soul. You're listening to Genesis 3:15. I will put enmities between thee and the woman, and thy seed and her seed. She shall crush thy head, and thou shalt lie in wait for her heel. I'm Mariana Bartold, the author of Fatima, The Signs and Secrets, and Guadalupe, Secrets of the Image, both which are available at Amazon. If you are interested in any of my works, you will find in the description box the pertinent links. Also, if you enjoy any of this channel's content, kindly like this broadcast or any other, subscribe to Genesis 315, and please be sure to add a helpful comment for the rest of the Genesis 315 community. To continue, the following are the 31 practices which I have mentioned earlier, and these also may be drawn by lot or otherwise chosen. The beginning of each month is a good time to decide. Number 1, take a short time from your recreation to spend in solitude conversing with Mary. Number 2, rise punctually in the morning, invoking the Virgin as the morning star. Number 3, invoke her 63 times as Virgin Mother in honor of her 63 years, as custom tells us. Or, as I will here add, because again we know at Fatima, Our Lady asked it of us, let us practice the devotion of the 5 first Saturdays of reparation to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Number 4, visit in spirit one of her great sanctuaries. 5, mortify your will 3 times during the day as an offering to Mary. Number 6, pray 3 Glorias in honor of the saints and doctors who have explained and defended her prerogatives. Number 7, kiss the book in which the name of Mary is written. Number 8, ask Mary to be present with you during the day to drive away evil spirits. Number 9, perform some act of kindness which causes inconvenience to yourself. Number 10, pray 3 Hail Marys in reparation for the blasphemies uttered against this Immaculate Virgin Mother. 11, give alms in honor of her holy poverty. Number 12, invoke the saints who were related to her, especially Saint Joseph and her parents Saint Joachim and Saint Anna. Number 13, mortify your sight in honor of Mary's modesty. There will be a million ways to do that throughout the day. 14, burn a blessed candle before her image or picture. 15, recall with devotion her words recorded in the Gospel, remembering how many of your sins are committed in speech. 16, pray the Litany of Loretto for the conversion of a soul through Our Lady's intercession before the throne of God. Number 17, in imitation of the Virgin at Nazareth, shun idleness. Number 18, pray a Hail Mary in honor of Saint Gabriel, who brought forth the beginning of this prayer to earth. Number 19, practice some little mortification at your meals. Number 20, before going to sleep, place yourself with the infant Jesus in Mary's arms. Number 21, pray 7 Glorias with extended arms in honor of Our Lady's 7 Dolors. Number 22, make a spiritual communion in union with her dispositions at the Annunciation. Number 23, pray a memorare to obtain Mary's help at the hour of death. Number 24, keep silence for a short time, and with Mary Ponder on God's words in your heart. Number 25. Pray a Hail Mary before retiring for the night in order to prevent another soul from committing a mortal sin that night. Number 26. Visit the Virgin's altar or image in atonement for the desecration of her sanctuaries. Number 27. Pray 9 Hail Marys in union with the 9 choirs of angels who in heaven are ever praising her. Number 28. Pray the Salve Regina, which means the Hail Holy Queen, for the spread of devotion to her. Number 29. Pray 15 Glorias in honor of the last 15 years of Mary's life, asking for the grace of final perseverance. Number 30. Kiss the ground and pray 3 Hail Marys for the virtues of humility and holy purity. And number 31. Pray a Hail Mary in reparation for any neglect of true devotion to Our Lady Mary, including our own. So there they are, a total of 42 practices to assist us in growing in our devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the path that leads us to God. Until the next time, may God bless you, and may Our Lady Mary keep you and yours under her starry mantle. Salve Regina.